Greetings, music therapists. Today I would like to offer you a quick crash course in the Arabic drum, the tabla, and a couple of commonly heard and beloved Arabic rhythms, beledi and maksum. My name's Carolyn Koebel. I'm a music therapist in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and also a performing percussionist in a variety of styles and traditions. And the tabla is one of my most favorite drums, and I'm so happy to give you a couple of tips for how you may be able to use this a little bit more musically in your clinical lives. So this drum is not a djembe. It does look sort of like a baby version of one, but it's its own unique and distinct instrument with its own techniques and rhythms. So rather than to play it in the conventional style of other cone drums like the ashiko and conga and djembe, it's typically thrown over the non-dominant leg and played in this style using the dominant hand for your bass tones and your non-dominant hand as a support drum and to fill in the interior of the rhythm. The rhythm beledi is created from the main strokes doom, which is our bass sound, and using the fingers of the hand to create that. Doom is closely related to an open tone on conga and djembe. So this entire surface of the fingers is used, and the pads are a good gauge for where to place the hand just inside of the lip of the shell near the rim. Doom is open and bouncing off and uses a wave-like motion of this muscle group. It should be very relaxed so that you're actually translating that weight or the mass of the hand into the sound to give you a nice deep round tone. So the bowl or syllable is doom. And if we slide back in time and space, we stop where our hand catches the edge of the drum where the head meets the rim or shell, and we use the back side of our fingers just above the last knuckle set, almost actually across the center knuckle here, and we're landing right in that spot. You can use 1, 2, or 3 fingers, whatever feels most comfortable and produces the best quality of sound for you. And this sound makes a much higher quality of, and you hear a kind of a ringing overtone. This is called tek. Now, tek is often played with only the 4th finger on some of our other Arabic percussion. In the case of the Arabic tambourine, the rik, because of the reduced diameter and surface area, it's typical to just use 1 finger, often the 4th finger. We gain just a little bit more oomph when we add a couple more fingers on the tabla, but you can also do it with just the single 4th finger. So try experimenting with a variety of options. Now, that's what we need to know for the bass rhythm, which is doom, doom, tek, doom, tek. This is the bass rhythm or outline of the skeleton foundation for the beledi rhythm. This is a 4/4 rhythm. Doom, doom, teka, tek, doom, teka, teka, doom, doom, teka, stek, doom, teka, stek, teka, doom, doom, teka, stek, doom, teka, stek, teka, doom, doom, teka, stek, doom, teka, stek, teka. Now this tek can be, often you can substitute the principal tek for another sound called ka or pa, which changes the sound in this way. Now this sound has a variety of variations for how it's played. The style I'll show you today uses the back side of the fingers just behind the fingertips. So rather than being on the fingertips, fold slightly backwards and allow what would be the area of the fingers where we would play a slap on a djembe or conga. It's the same part of the hand, and it's okay for the fingers to come slightly apart for this, whatever again is more comfortable. I usually spread mine a little, and sometimes I want to hear the quality that's created. There's a texture if you fold slightly in, starting with the pinky first, then you you get another texture to that sound. They can hit all together as well. So that creates ka or pa, which is actually our slap sound on the tabla. Now, tabla is the term used in Arabic traditions. If you travel to Turkey, you would hear the drum called darbuka. In other regions of the Middle East, you may hear it referred to as durbeki. As you can see here, it comes in a variety of styles and materials for construction. A very traditional style tabla drum is made from clay and covered in fish skin. Another style would be a light aluminum with some kind of synthetic plastic. As you travel to Persian cultural traditions, the zarb or tombek is again traditionally made of wood, but could also be made of a clay structure and covered, in this case, in camel skin, which allows for a lot of subtlety and just poetic expression, which is so critical to the classical Persian sound. So this one is a traditional Arabic drum. This is spun cast aluminum and a plastic skin. So this rhythm also requires one additional part. So our non-dominant hand, just so far, has not had much to say. Its main role is to counterbalance the drum. I'm using the inside of the elbow here, just resting against the shell of the drum. And I come across the top. I want to be at about the 12 o'clock position of the clock in this way. And then I'm going to roll to the outside of this pinky. So I'm actually kind of standing on the outside of my hand, almost like a handshake position. And the motion for creating tek, which is the principal sound that will play with the non-dominant hand, is that of turning the doorknob, basically turning a doorknob to the left, gives us the rotation we need to generate the torque to create the sound that we want for our left-hand tek, or our non-dominant tek. So when you engage this whole system and get the pivot in rotation, it then allows this finger to be thrown freely onto the surface of the drum head, again catching that critical spot where the head meets the rim. If you are finding your finger pointing at the floor, you either get kind of a smaller open doom sound or a muffled tek sound, which would be more like a pa or ka. So this is not the tek we're looking for. This is kind of the one we first find when we're approaching this technique. But what we need to do instead, again, is roll to the outside so that that finger is pointing perpendicular to the floor, or parallel in this case, and moving in. So the motion is that of the ring finger moving towards the thumb. So what's actually happening, I'm imagining that this finger is going to touch the back of the thumb, but they don't actually meet because it runs into the drum instead. So there's a little bit of a rotation and then kind of a snap here at this last knuckle set that brings the finger into our sound. This allows us to fill in the rest of the rhythm. So we now have doom, doom, tek-es, tek, doom, tek-es, tek, tek-es, doom, doom, tek-es, tek, doom, tek-es, tek, tek-es. So the organization of the hands is very dominant hand led. So we have right, 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 left, right, 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 left, right, right, left, right, 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 left, right, 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 left, right, right, left, doom, doom, tek-es, tek, doom, tek-es, tek, tek-es, doom, doom, tek-es, tek, doom, tek-es, tek, tek-es, doom, doom, tek-es, tek, doom, tek-es, tek. So this is Beledi, the popular belly dance rhythm, beloved all throughout the Arabic world, and very, very attractive in music therapy settings. It's a very engaging rhythm and a wonderful way to open people's minds and eyes and ears to music of other cultures. I use it a lot in my work with youth to help connect them to some of the peoples that they hear so much about in the news and to give them a different kind of experience of their culture. It's also a wonderful rhythm to connect with some of our multicultural clients who may feel very isolated when displaced from their culture and disconnected from their musical and aesthetic roots. So I've seen some just wonderful connections come alive when I bring in this drum and bring these rhythms to share with some of my clients from Arabic descent. So I hope you will continue to explore the tabla and some of these bass techniques for getting started with do and tek and ka or pa, the slap stroke. And from there you can continue to add variations and expressions. So I just encourage you to listen to some of the music from these regions, get it in your ear and in your heart, and then you'll be able to kind of grow towards further expression with the instrument. Thank you.